Hello, and thank you for purchasing a vehicle from Acura of Westchester. My name is Gabriel. I am the product specialist here at Acura of Westchester, and we've taken the time to create you a personalized video so I can make sure that you get the most out of your new car. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. First, I'm going to go over the keyless access entry. You no longer need to hold onto your key fob or plug in any keys into the door. You can put it into your back pocket, and all you have to do is bring your hand to the door, wait for that beep, and then just give it a pull. Door will unlock and open for you. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to hop into your new vehicle. You're going to turn on the engine, put your foot on the brake, and you're going to push the engine start button once. Okay. Now, number one, at least for me, and a priority, is for you to feel comfortable. I want you to set your seat to whichever position you feel is most comfortable for you, and you're going to do that by using the levers on the side here. So I have personal names for these. I like to call this one the longer lever. What it's going to do is it's going to adjust the seat by either pushing it forward, pushing it backwards, or if you want, you can actually tilt it up or down to raise and lower the seat. Now the lever behind it is going to recline the seat, so if you feel like sitting upright or sitting a little more back, you can adjust it that way. And the buttons here in the back are lumbar for your back if you need a little more support for the lower part of your back. Once you finish setting up your seat to where you'd like, I always like to jump to the side mirrors, of course. And I'll show you that now. You're going to use your slider. We're going to push this to the left, and then we can use the wheel to adjust our mirror to whichever we feel is preferred. You're going to do the same for the right mirror as well. Once you're finished doing that, check your inside mirror, make sure it's comfortable, make sure it's where you would prefer it to be, and then you're going to save your settings. Doing that is very simple. You're going to press set on the door and then hit the number 1. If you have a significant other, or you would just prefer to set a second key, you're going to hit set and the number 2. And that will save the settings to the key. Now, I invite you into your car so we can go over the most popular features of the MDX. Now, when I do a delivery with a customer, I have what I like to call a 3-part system. I always start in the middle and move my way to the left. All right. So to start off, I'm going to be showing you your temperature and radio controls on your primary screen. It's all touchscreen except for turning on and off the fan and using your defoggers. So to start off, we're going to hit on and off to enable the fan. Now, you can adjust your temperatures using the dial here if you'd like, or you can actually touch the number and either tap where you prefer to go, hit plus or minus, or you can select max cool or max heat. Following suit, you have your heated seat directly next to it. Just give it a simple touch and you can choose between high, medium, or low, or if you prefer, you can select auto if you want it to adjust for you. Next to that, you have the airflow, where you would prefer to have it either in the bottom of the defogger, just your face and your feet, you know the rest, or you can select it for front mode auto. Next to that, and this is actually a very important feature, your AC and your sync. So, of course, during the summertime, you're going to want to have your AC on, and sync makes it so that the temperatures in the car are all in unison with one another. So 74 and 74 here. If I change it from the driver's side, it's going to match what I have for my driver temperature. Next to that, you have your fan speed. This is very simple. Again, you're just going to give it a touch, and you can tap where you'd like to go, or again, hit the plus or the minus. Next to that, you have your air circulation. This is pretty self-explanatory. If you wanted to circulate air in the car, or you want to grab air from the outside of the vehicle. You have rear controls for the back passengers that you can control. Let's say you have kids in the back and you don't want them to adjust the temperature. You can lock the back temperature, so only you have controls over the fan speed blowing out of the back. And of course, the rear passengers have controls of their own in the back when they want to adjust it themselves. And of course, you have the passenger heated seat and passenger temperature control. So that's pretty much it for temperature. Now, as far as the radio is concerned, this is also very simple to navigate through. You see you have your basic screen here. Always select source on the top left. It's going to give you all of your radio options between FM, AM, XM, and so on and so forth. Now, XM we give you 3 months for free, and the brochure for all of the channels is inside of your glove compartment. As far as Bluetooth compatibility and wanting to listen to your Bluetooth music, if you hit this down arrow, it gives you the rest of your options. And Bluetooth audio is going to be here. Next, I'm going to show you how to actually pair your phone to the car. I know a majority of you are iPhone users. I have an Android, but the steps are relatively similar. So to start off, I like to be safe rather than sorry. Go directly into your settings. If you have a Bluetooth, you go into your settings and you'll see the Bluetooth option near the top. For for Android users, you go into connected devices and select Bluetooth. Once you are in this screen, you're going to select phone. It's going to give you these options on the top here. You're going to use the dial and you're going to select yes to connect the new phone. Add Bluetooth device. It says make sure your Bluetooth is on. We already took that step. You're just going to hit OK. The car is going to find your phone, and you're going to follow the steps from there. Usually takes about 10 seconds or so. There's my phone. I'm just going to hit enter on the dial. On my phone, it gives me the pairing request prompt. I'm just going to hit pair. And in 2 or so seconds, it's going to say that the connection is successful. Now, if you don't see your device on the top screen, there's a couple troubleshooting steps you can take, and probably the easiest one is to just turn your Bluetooth off and then back on again, and then you'll see your device on the top. This part right here is just asking if you want to see your phone book in the car. You'll see all your contacts, and you can make phone calls a little bit easier and more smoothly. That's entirely up to you if you want to turn this feature on or off. Once you finish with this last step, sure enough, your phone will actually be in the car. Now that the phone is finished pairing, it is worth noting that the MDX comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. We do have a separate video for that, and we will be more than happy to provide that to you if you want to see how to set up either of those two things in your car. Now, moving forward, your top screen is not specifically just for your phone, although it is very nice and convenient. You do have other options. If you have a technology package MDX, you do have an option here for a navigation that you can use in the car. Now that you have your navigation up on the top screen, it's actually very simple and convenient to use. Everything is controlled through this middle dial here. You're going to start off by selecting Enter Menu, and it's going to give you all of your different subcategories on the top screen. You have the traditional address option if you feel like you wanted to input the entire address, or you can search by place category, place name, so on and so forth. I'm going to search by address to give you an example. Me personally, I like to start by zip code. That way I don't have to worry about changing the state. You're going to put your zip code in. Make sure to go a little slow because sometimes the computer lags a little bit and it might not get all of the numbers. So take it slow when you're putting in your zip code. You're going to see that Larchmont came up on the top screen, so I'm going to select Enter. Now it's going to tell me to put in my street name. This does not mean you put the number of the street in. You're just going to put in the name of your street for your house or work, whatever you're putting into your address. Once you find the street, that's when you're going to put in the street or house number. Once you finish doing that, you're going to hit search on the screen and it will automatically come up on the top here for you. If there's multiple different destinations, it will show you each of them, and it's up to you to select the correct one. Now, from this screen, I can either set it as a destination, or if I scroll all the way to the bottom, if it's an address that I want to revisit in the future, I'm going to select Save to Address Book. I'm going to give it a name. And I'm going to select Save, Delete on the top and select Save. And now you can either set it as a destination, or you can start from the top and add another address as you would like.
Proceed to the highlighted route, then the route guidance will start.
For now, I'm going to cancel the route, but you guys understand pretty much the idea of how to use the navigation. Next, you also have an infotainment option on your top screen. If you select Info on your screen, it's going to come up with a display image. If you hit it one more time, it'll give you different options as to what you might be able to put up there. Now again, if you have just a standard package MDX, it won't give you all of these options. It'll give you a little bit of a simpler list, such as a clock or a trip computer. But other than that, this is really just for convenience and an aesthetic look. Now that's pretty much it for the two screens. Now I'm going to talk about your gear shifter. This is a controversial shifter because a lot of people like to think that using the stick is a little bit easier if they're not used to a push button shifter, but you're going to find that this is much simpler because all it is a push of a button. Anytime you want to switch gears in your car, you have to have your foot on the brake. Make sure you depress that pedal all the way. Let's say I want to put the car in drive. I'm going to select DS. You'll notice that I'm in drive because the LED light is now green. If I want to put the car in neutral, again, it's as simple as a press. Same thing for park. Reverse is the only one of the four buttons that's different. Reverse, there's no push. You're going to actually pull this lever back. You're going to hear a beep and you'll see the light indicating that you were in reverse, as well as your rear facing camera on the top screen. I'm going to put the car back in park and we're going to move on. Dynamic mode is a feature that allows you to change the driving mode of your car. There are only 3 different driving modes in the MDX. You have comfort for a smoother drive. You have normal if you're feeling just like using the standard driving mode. And you have sport if you feel like going a little bit quicker and moving faster on the highway. Now A off on the bottom here is known as the engine idle stop. What this will do is when you're at a red light or a stop sign, the engine is going to idle. The purpose of this is to try to save you a little bit of gas. If you're not a fan of this feature, make sure to just simply press that button once and it's going to disable. It is worth noting that every time you turn the car on, however, this feature defaults to on. Now, moving on, coming to the top here very briefly to go over what you have. You have your manual lights. What I recommend is to set this to the middle. That way, if there are any doors open, these lights will be on. You have garage door openers here for 1, 2, or 3 doors. You have your roadside assistance button, where if you get stuck, you give this a push and it will call somebody and send them your location right away. There's also Acura Link, which offers you the voice concierge package. And this right here is going to be for your sunroof. If you would like to open it, you're going to simply push it this way. When you want to close it, you push it back the other way. Or if you want to just give it a little tilt for a breeze, you push it straight up. And it's going to give it a tilt. Nice and simple. And of course you have your sunglass visor here. Now, moving on to the second part, you've got your steering wheel. The steering wheel looks like there's a lot going on, but really it's not all that bad. And I always like to start with the right hand side here. First and foremost, probably the most important thing to remember, this right here is your maintenance wheel. It's going to show you everything such as, the range for your gas. It's going to show you oil pressure, oil life, tire pressure, so on and so forth. You can see a compass up there, really whatever you want to see in terms of maintenance with the vehicle. Next to it, you have your cruise control options. If you want to turn cruise control on, you simply hit main. If you want to set a desired speed, let's say you're going 60, you're going to push down to set it. If you ever want to turn your cruise control off, just hit main again. Now these two features, they go hand in hand with cruise control. So this right here is known as the Lane Keep Assist System, or LKAS. If you turn this feature on, the car is going to read the lines on the road, and it will actually steer the wheel for you. This button here is simply known as low speed follow. And what that means is there's 4 different modes. You have a very long range, long, medium, and short. That's just going to give you distance between you and the car in front of you. Now, moving to the left-hand side of the wheel, you have very simple controls for radio and phone. If you want to adjust your volume, you have a dial here. You can scroll it up or scroll it down. If you want to change presets for your radio, you can push this to the right or to the left. And if you want to change your source options such as FM, AM, or XM, you give this a push and it will show you different source options in the top screen. On the left hand side here, you have options specifically for your phone. This is to answer a phone call, this is to hang up a phone call, and this is to make a phone call. It's worth noting that with this, giving it one slight push brings up the car. If you hold it down and you have a compatible iPhone or Android, it's going to bring up your phone instead, giving you better access to either your Google Assistant or Siri. Now, very quickly, you've got your 2 levers on the back of the wheel. This lever, of course, is going to control your windshield wipers and the mist that comes out from the windshield to clean your window. You can adjust how much comes out using this dial here. On the left hand side, you have the lever for your lights and your blinkers. And brights are very simple. You're going to push in. If you want to keep them on, push it out. And that's all she wrote for the blinkers. There's one more thing in this car that's very important for me to go over, and that's going to be your safety features, which is over here on the left hand side of the car. Starting off on the top here, if you have this P, this means that you've either purchased parking sensors or a technology package or above in your car. This is as simple as it sounds, your parking sensors. It's going to give you a beep when you're getting too close to something either in front of you or behind you. Now you'll know this is on when you see that green light. If you don't, that means the feature is off. Over here, this right here is known as lane departure warning. If you're veering out of your lane when going 45 miles per hour or more, it is going to shake the steering wheel and try its best to pull you back in. This feature right here is already on by default. You don't have to worry about pressing it or touching it, and you want to leave it on. It's known as Vehicle Stability Assist. This is going to help you in harsh weather conditions, whether it's snowing or raining out. It's going to help you retain traction so that the car stays on the road and doesn't slip. Down here on the bottom, this feature is also on by default. This is known as the collision mitigation system. If you are about to crash into something in front of you, whether it be a pedestrian, a car, or some type of object, the car is going to automatically brake for you if you cannot brake in time. Now, brake hold is as simple as it sounds. If you turn this feature on, when you brake and the car stops moving, it is going to say hold. That means the car is holding the brake for you, so you no longer have to keep your foot depressed on the brake, and you can rest easy for a minute. The P here is your parking brake. Now this is very simple to turn on and off. When you want to engage the parking brake, you're simply going to push the lever in. You're going to hear a sound and you'll see park in your odometer. When you want to turn the parking brake off, depress the brake pedal all the way. You're going to give this a pull, and that will turn the parking brake off. Now I'm going to show you how to operate the second row and how to gain access to your third row. So firstly, you can actually adjust the second row from the front. There's a lever. If you pull it up, you can move the seat forward or back to compensate for leg room. Now, if you wanted to gain access to your third row, there's a couple of ways you could do it. I'm going to show you the easiest and simplest way. You're just going to push this button. Once you do that, the seat flies forward and the person can get into that third row. Now, if they wanted to get out from the third row, they have the button up here on the top. Or if for any reason the button isn't working, there's also this lever down here that you can pull and the seat will fly forward. Now, if you just want to give yourself more third row storage or second row storage, if you pull this lever, it's going to drop this seat 100% flat. and you have to just manually pick it back up. Now coming into the trunk really quickly, I'm going to show you how to drop your third row, and I'm also going to show you how to gain access into your spare tire kit. So this is how it's going to look. All you have to do to drop the row, you're going to give this a pull and you're going to give it a push. That will drop your third row down nice and conveniently. We'll do it for the other side as well. Now to gain access to your spare tire kit, it's actually underneath your extra compartment that you do have here. And yes, you do have an extra compartment. If you give this piece a push, it's going to give you a handle that you can lift. And then this is just a little extra storage space for groceries or what have you. Now to gain access to the tire kit, you have to lift this piece up. There's a small little loop here. You're going to pull up. And here's all of your different tools along the side. All you have to do, there's a little rubber piece here. Take a key, pop it off, and you can use the wrench to actually crank the tire so it drops down from underneath your car. And it's as simple as that for using your third row and gaining access to your spare tire. Thank you for taking the time to watch your personalized delivery of your new MDX. If you have any other questions regarding your car, please feel free to give us a call at 914-834-2222, and a product specialist will be happy to assist you with all questions that you might have. Additionally, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms for information regarding promotions or deals or anything of the sort, and we'll see you soon.